Welcome back to another episode of I'm picking this fighter, but I'm betting on this fighter. And this fighter here is going to be Natalia Silva. That fighter over there is Viviane Araujo. I'm betting on her. My pick formally is Natalia Silva by decision. With a gun to my head, that's how this fight goes. Natalia Silva wins a decision. And of all of her paths to victory, decision is definitely the most likely. But despite that, again, all of the upside is on Viviane Araujo at plus 250. She's a versatile, powerful MMA fighter, strong UFC level fighter, and I think there's a chance she next levels Natalia Silva by hitting some well timed takedowns and controlling her on the ground, frankly. I don't know if she can go through her on the ground, but I do think she could definitely control her. But I see what everybody else sees with Natalia Silva. When I was looking to break down this matchup, I looked to Viviane Araujo's record to see which fight to watch first, and I settled on Alexa Grasso because I thought that'd be most similar to Natalia Silva. She really is an exceptional fighter, very similar to Grasso, incredible on the feet, very fast, perhaps even more powerful, but incredibly fast, difficult to catch, and really sharp technique with her hands and her legs. This girl is a problem. Yeah, anybody fights her on the feet without takedowns, I'm favoring Natalia Silva until I decide not to, I guess. No, but in most matchups, I would favor Natalia Silva. She's incredible. And she has lost 5 times, many times, three times earlier in her career in which she was finished to decent fighters, and then she lost 2 decisions after that. The last of which came 7 or 8 years ago, and it was to Marina Rodriguez. Marina Rodriguez beat her by decision. She roughed her up and kind of bullied her around down the stretch, but Natalia was only 19 and she was doing very well early on. But yeah, she was just too inexperienced there and wasn't able to keep up. But since then, she's looked damn near perfect. She's like 10-0 or something like that, 3-0 or whatever she is in the UFC. She's looked phenomenal. She's only had a few moments that were even slightly dicey since that Marina Rodriguez loss. Teresa Bleda in the UFC took her down. That's a big, strong girl. She was able to get her down, and she advanced on her and locked up a triangle armbar from the top. But she wasn't able to do anything with it. Natalia Silva kept herself composed, kept herself safe, and in the end won via spinning wheel kick, hook kick, back kick, knockout in round 3. So she has passed every test. That was the only real major hiccup. She did have another minor hiccup on the regional scene where she was knocked down by this girl, Ingrid Silva. She decided to brawl and got caught hard brawling. She got knocked down, but again, kept herself composed. And in the end, she was the one winning. Got that one done via armbar, I believe. But in general, she's looked flawless. That Jasmine Jasdavicius fight, that wasn't such a great win on the night it happened, but it's gotten a lot better with age, as Jasmine's had a lot of success since then, and Natalia Silva looked perfect then, even won the wrestling battle. Against Andrea Lee, she looked phenomenal. Both girls, Viviane Araujo and Natalia Silva, have beaten Andrea Lee somewhat recently, maybe her last 2 losses, but they both beat her relatively recently. And Natalia Silva looked phenomenal there. It was a shutout by and large. Andrea Lee couldn't keep up with her. Again, Natalia Silva's a beast. She's so fucking fast. She's going to give a lot of fighters trouble. But what I'm counting on here is Viviane Araujo's wrestling. I'm counting on Viviane Araujo's wrestling, which has been a major asset for her as a fighter. This girl's got excellent takedown prowess. And all of her takedowns that I've seen pretty much are double legs. She caught a few kicks against a few different fighters, but Caitlin Chukagian, I think she got down by catching a kick and whatever else. But generally speaking, she gets it done with double legs, and it's all about timing with her. She's got good threats, good power with her hands, and really, I think a lot of her success in getting those takedowns comes from slowing her opponents down with body shots. That's one of her most effective weapons, even against Alexa Grasso, who was much faster and, again, very similar to Natalia Silva. The body shots as she was coming in were working on her throughout that fight. And I trust Viviane Araujo took a lot away from that fight, where, especially looking into this matchup, how she's got to deal with somebody like Natalia Silva. That's slowing her down and taking her down. She took down Alexa Grasso in round 2, ARujo, and that's the one round she definitely won. But she was competitive throughout the whole fight. It's just success is going to come from wrestling. And she is a beast. She's taken down a lot of great fighters, probably everybody she's fought. She's looked phenomenal, and she's had a lot of good control as well. I don't think it would behoove her to try to finish Natalia Silva if she takes her down. Maybe if she has an opportunity to take the back, that would be good. But trying to advance on her on top could leave room for explosions. I think Viviane Araujo's got to fight a nice, boring fight. That's what betting does to you, gambling. It makes you root for boring fights. But that is Viviane Araujo's path to victory, neutralizing Natalia Silva, unless, of course, she knocks her out or whatever. But Viviane Araujo is still looking good at 37 years old. She had a couple of setbacks, sure, although the majority of her losses are pretty close. But her most recent fight was against Jennifer Maia. I think she was probably still 36 at the time, but still, it wasn't that long ago. And she really impressed me in that fight. It went the exact opposite way I thought it was going to go. And Viviane Araujo's grappling was there for her. Now, Jennifer Maia's quick and whatever, but she's not Natalia Silva quick. So that's why the prediction is Natalia Silva. I think she duplicates the success that Alexa Grasso had and wins that kind of fight. The fight we've seen her fight already in the UFC, Natalia Silva. But the bet is on Araujo because, again, Viviane Araujo still looks to be in her prime at 37 years old. She's durable as all hell, was only finished once, and it was her first loss, which was a TKO to Sarah Frota, who made it to the UFC. And that was standing, but it was awkward. She was not experienced. So, having not been hurt really since then, aside from the 2 kicks she suffered from Andrea Lee, the punch and the kick, really 2 knockdowns in the first 30 seconds against Andrea Lee. She's looked pretty damn healthy. And she was knocked down by Amanda Hebash, kinda, like a half a knockdown in round 2 or whatever. But either way, she hasn't gone down, and she's shown damn good cardio, where I had doubt about that early on. Her losses earlier on to Jessica Ai and Caitlin Chukagian, certainly, I thought her cardio cost her. But those are bigger fighters, too. These are all flyweights, but Viviane Araujo and those girls came down from 135, whereas Natalia Silva was a strawweight that moved up to flyweight. I just think there's going to be a physicality advantage for Viviane Araujo here. There may not have been in some of those losses of hers. So Viviane Araujo taking her down and winning is the bet. And I bet on her money line because it's nice and juicy at plus 250. But if the props for decision are juicy, I will bet on that as well. And of course, for Natalia Silva, I'm very sure her path to victory primarily is decision. So if that's worth hedging once the prop bets drop, then there's that. Like, share, subscribe, all that horse shit, and check out my other videos.